My name is Patel. I am the creator of Py-iMessenger, and in this video I want to sort of provide a breakdown of what it takes to create your own extension that Py-iMessenger can run. So here we have the source code, which can all be downloaded from GitHub using the link below. The GitHub page also includes information regarding how to install and set up Py-iMessenger for the first time. So in this video, as I said before, we're going to learn how to create your own extension. So we have our main.py right here, and this is sort of how you run everything. But if we come down here into our backend folder within our source folder, so backend, we come into plugins. So let's say we want to create a plugin which is going to add two numbers together. So we can just create a new folder. We'll call that simple math or something along that line, simple math. And within that, folder, we'll create a new file, call that mathlogic.py. And so now that we have our file, first let's create a help message. So we can just call that math help, and we can say allows users to add two numbers together. And so this help message will show up when you run that /help command, as I showed in the previous video. And so I guess a example call would look something like math 2, 3 would return 5, because you're adding those two numbers together. So now we need to create a function, and I guess we'll call this one addNums. And so with every function built into Py-iMessenger, you have to sort of take the arguments as such with the wildcard args. And you can't just do something like def addNums A and B. It doesn't really work like that because of the fact that since functions in Py-iMessenger have the ability to do so many things, there are default arguments which are passed in. So for example, the user object will always be passed in and information like that, so you kind of have to keep it as such. But the default, let's say the commands, the arguments which are passed in through commas at the beginning, those are the first two commands. So we could say that our number 1 would be the first command, and our number 2 would be that second command. And we can try to do that. So we'll try to do that because let's say the user passes in, runs that extension, but doesn't pass in the necessary arguments, except if we get like an error. Then we can return something along the lines of, return, make sure you enter two numbers. And we want to convert those into integers, of course. That's another, thing that might be caught with the exception. So I'll run int on that. So now we have our two numbers, and all we have to do is just type something along the lines of return. We'll have an f string. The sum of your two numbers is, and then we'll just have number 1 plus number 2. Boom. That's it. That's your extension right there. So to give you another a breakdown of how it works, we created within the backend plugins folder, we created a folder called simple math, and so this folder would contain all of the logic for our extension. And within that folder, we had the math logic file. Within that, we had our help message, which would show up when users would type /help. We get our math help, and then we create the function itself, which is addNums. We pass in the wildcard args because of the fact that by default, Py-iMessenger adds in additional arguments which may not be desired by the user, but they're going to be passed there anyway. So we try to get those arguments and convert them to integers. However, if that doesn't work, we say, make sure you have entered two numbers, and then we just return the sum of our two numbers is number 1 plus number 2. So we have our extension. Now all we need to do is sort of register that extension. And to register that extension, come down here to the extension manager, which is in backend plugins extension manager. And so from extension manager, so we need to import the actual file and then the function. So we do from simple math dot math logic. We would import what were the names again? We'd have math help and add nums. We'd have math help and add nums. There we go. Come down here to the messenger object, add extension. So our command name, as we said earlier, I think it was /math. So we do /math. The command function, which is associated with that, command name, is the add nums function. The help message, command help, is math help. And you'll see that I have other extensions registered here. All extensions are registered with the extension manager. And so basically it takes the messaging client, which actually sends a message, and adds those extensions to it. You'll see that some messages have other things such as files equal to true. This is Doggo and Patriot, and from our previous video, we know that those files do support, those extensions, do support the ability to send files. So that's why those parameters are checked off. But by default, they're not. Okay, so now that we've registered our extension, we can come back to iMessage, and I've run Py-iMessenger, and we can see that we have the same sort of message chat from the previous video. And so now I'm just going to run that /help command. And so what we're going to be looking for is right here. We have /math, and it allows users to add two numbers together. /math 2, 3 would return 5. And if we come to our extension manager and we scroll down, we can see that that shows up here as well. Save and close, and now we can try running that extension which we made. So the first thing that we want to check out is actually the ability to handle exceptions. So if you run /math without any arguments passed in, we can see that we get that return message which we had planned for. Make sure you enter two numbers. And let's say we do enter two things, but they're not actually numbers. So we just random strings. If we run that, we also get that same message. Make sure you enter two numbers. So if we actually enter two numbers, let's say, for example, we do 3 and 4, we know that our intended result should be 7. And there we go. The sum of your two numbers is 7. So that's a very easy way to, create an extension, register it, and boom, you're good to go. And it took less than 2-3 minutes just to do something simple for that. And if you are creating extensions, there are certain utilities which are created for you. There is the image downloader, which helps you download images given a image URL.